The media is not easy to fool at all, and if your product has holes in it, if your messaging has holes in it, that's going to show immediately.
You are watching the Creator Chronicles. Hi, I'm Artur Papikan, and this is where we break down the silent mistakes that are happening throughout the different stages of a crowdfunding campaign. Hey everyone! Most founders think that PR is a launch day move. But that long-lasting credibility is built way before anyone clicks the landing page. And to uncover this, today we have Rosa with us, a PR expert who knows what this long-lasting credibility actually means. Rosa, based on your experience, there are a lot of founders that think that short-term credibility is very important to have conversion for their products, to have credibility as well, why not? But most of them are not paying enough attention that besides this short-term impact, they are having longer-term impacts as well. In your experience, what are the main differences that creators should pay into attention, as well as to understand what they are gaining as product creators?
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for having me. I think that's a great question because a lot of people do focus on short-term strategies to try to boost their PR for a couple of weeks before the launch or during the launch, but that's not, again, long-term strategy, of course, and it doesn't build the same credibility as having long-term relationship with media builds. So I would say the most important thing is focusing on the product, essentially. The product needs to create headlines, and if the product isn't good, it's very difficult to spin any sort of PR headline from that. The product itself needs to be very good, and the product is a testament to the credibility. Of course, the second thing I would say is consistent and targeted outreach, consistent and targeted communication with the media. That needs to start before the launch of the campaign. And again, this is a long game. We're playing the long game. We're not playing the short game. So it's really important that we build those relationships. If it's sending out samples, for example, or just communicating, sending out press materials, it's important to do this beforehand. I think we call this embargo. Mm-hmm. We need to have those relationships before the campaign launches to ensure that it is successful and ensure that it has impact beyond the campaign days.
You mentioned about the good product, and product owners are usually creating products that they are thinking are solving kind of a problem, so it needs to be good. Mm-hmm. So for them, it's a good one. What are you identifying as a good product for PR?
That's a great question. For the product to be good, it needs to be able to create a headline. And for that, it needs to be actually innovative. It needs to actually deliver the promise, and it needs to actually solve a problem. Because the media is not easy to fool at all. And if your product has holes in it, if your messaging has holes in it, that's going to show immediately. And it's very difficult to cover those things. So essentially, if the product is good, the PR just builds upon themselves. Just give it to the expert and they'll do the job for you. And as a creator, that's your job to just make sure that the product is actually solving a problem.
Mm-hmm. And from the other side, if we are having a look to the question, what is media looking for?
The product needs to be very newsworthy, which means that we look for titles as world's first or world's most, something that we can give a big title to, a big headline to. So if it's not newsworthy, if it's not current, if it's, for example, not something that's innovative, that's never been done before, again, it's very difficult to create news on that. Or it needs to be associated with someone big, a big brand or something like that. So those things like relevancy, newsworthiness, association, all of those things play a role. But I would say the most important thing is to be innovative. If your product is innovative, the headline is going to write itself, basically.
Is the demand from the media for the innovative products the same for the top tier media and like the usual ones?
It is very difficult to secure media coverage for top tier media if your product has been done before. If it's a dupe, if it's been duped. But if it's an actual innovative product, sometimes we can even get those articles out without a sample. And this is talking about earned media, obviously not anything like that is paid. not paid promotion. If your product is actually an innovation, it's again easier to get those top tier media to write. And we actually target those because working with different creators has shown that when we target those top media specifically, the news just disseminates all over the media. Those medium tier media, mid tier media, they sort of just start copying whatever the top tier media are saying. So if the product is good, our bets are on the top tier media. And when it comes to a mid tier media, they are looking for a news announcement mostly. So they might not go for the original story. Obviously, everyone's looking for very original stories. But we specifically target those top tier media because we know that this is something newsworthy for them. And we know that the creator has a chance to appear in those media.
The main difference between PR and other promotional channels is that mostly you are focusing on earned media, right? So is the strategy completely different from the promotional aspects whenever you are doing PR?
Regarding strategy, PR is built upon communication, I would say, and targeted communication, communication that is not salesy, communication that is cooperative. It's focused on building those public relations, obviously, as the name suggests. And building relations takes time. So when we build those relations, it's important not to sound salesy, not to sound like we have like an ulterior motive. We're looking for something else. Obviously, journalists understand that we want to, promote our product or our event or whatever we're trying to push forward. But still, there needs to be this sort of courtesy. There needs to be this sort of open and honest communication. So I would say our bets are on open and honest communication, but it doesn't go without strategy because we strategize who we're reaching out to. We strategize, what sort of pitch we're sending them to, and the wording, the targeting, all of that is quite marketing-y, but I would say the human aspect also plays a huge role in PR.
Talking about strategy, let's imagine a case when a creator comes and says that I only want short-term conversions and the long-term impact is not so important for my product. In this case, how is your approach being differentiated from the ones that you are working on for the longer term impact and for the short term ones, or does it really matter in this case?
I would say it does matter. Again, short term PR strategies are not a thing if we speak like majorly, especially when it comes to earned PR. It's very, very difficult to do anything earned, which means like not having to pay for it if we're looking for like a short term boost. Outreach gets more aggressive. That means we're outreaching to a lot more people in a shorter period of time. But again, this is risky and it can include some error. Generally not recommended to just try to outreach to a bunch of people in like 3 days because again, there are issues with email domains and stuff like that. So we need to take into account all of these technical aspects as well when we try to, give a boost to the campaign. But again, at least 1 to 2 months is important to make sure that we get that jump start so that we're able to have those results. It can take up to 2 months to send the product to the journalist so that they can review it and then write the article about it, for example. This is earned. We're not paying them. We're not doing anything. So we can only count on our open communication with the journalist to get those results out. But then again, obviously, there are systems, there are strategies that we tend to use to get those responses, get those results in articles and those KPI and fulfill those KPI. So PR specifically doesn't work with conversions, so we don't have a conversion goal because, again, we work with human beings and the way the news industry, the media industry is structured, it's very, very difficult to pay your way through becoming viral or becoming a news sensation. Obviously, if people do it, it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, which not always is a good way to spend your limited campaign money, for example. And there is an alternative, obviously, which is earned media. If we're trying to get a short-term boost, those paid promotions are the way to go. But again, there's another way to do it. And if we start a bit earlier, we can secure those arrangements with journalists and basically be able to get the same results. Again, I'm not saying we cannot guarantee conversions, nor am I saying that conversions never happen from PR. Obviously, we work through affiliate links, we work through with the journalist, and sometimes their articles bring sales. But our main goal when we're doing digital PR is to make sure that we bring traffic, digital traffic, to the campaign page. So its domain authority gets higher, and it gets better results, search results on Google, and it ranks higher. So overall, digitally, your campaign does better and has more traffic. So that's what we're working on. And obviously, this traffic game takes time. Again, it all has to do with a lot of time.
Yeah, you mentioned that there are a lot of other beneficiaries from PR, and for example, your landing page is one of those. Being part of a whole marketing team, what other channels are there that are getting benefits from the PR as well?
That's a great question, because not a lot of people are able to connect those dots. And sometimes people miss how PR is connected to the whole marketing chain. It seems like a different, separated relationship between the media and the PR person. But obviously that's not the case, because everything is connected. For example, when people on ads, Facebook ads, for example, see that, Forbes has covered this product, the credibility gets higher, and obviously they are more prone to backing the product or buying it. So I would say it builds credibility outside of news media as well. Social media also works. And obviously word of mouth and all of those things are also a part of PR. So this is all good reputation for the brand. It's all about reputation.
Thanks a lot. Those were the questions from me, but as a tradition, we have a question for you from our previous guest, which is the following one. Crowdfunding is a short-term activity for about 2 months. Based on your case, what is the longer-term benefit the creator is taking?
The long-term benefit that the creator is taking is credibility. So if your product, even if it's like a 2-month campaign, if it is covered in top-tier media like Forbes, New Atlas, Gizmodo, if it's tech product, so if it's covered in those, Tech Radar, all of those very credible, highly reputable media, you're basically set, because those journalists are very selective, and they don't cover just anything. There needs to be a real promise, and the promise needs to be fulfilled. And sometimes we even keep in touch with the journalists after. We send them the product after. We send the prototype for testing, and then after the product actually comes out, we send it to them, and we continue those relationships. So it's all a continual matter. Sometimes we collaborate with the same journalist for a second version of the product, or second generation, second type of the product. So those things obviously add up, and they do matter immensely. Also, when the creator, for example, wants to go to e-commerce after completing a crowdfunding project, the life cycle of their brand, their product, obviously gets extended, and they have a foundation, like a sort of base that they can build upon when they go to e-commerce, when they become like an established brand. And it is also very important to have those earlier connections.
Perfect. So now it's your turn to pose a question for our next guest, who you do not think is going to be. So go ahead.
So obviously PR has to do with trust. So it's very interesting to me how other people build trust with their audiences, or what is the most important thing in building trust in your line of work.
Fine. Thanks a lot. And the last point of our podcast is advice to all the creators from your end. What would it be if you sum it up just in one sentence?
Trust your PR specialists and start early.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Rosa. This was today's podcast. Make sure if you have any kind of questions related to crowdfunding to drop them down in the comment section. Also, do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe us for the next episodes. Stay tuned. Bye.